So since my last video, there has been insane news that has happened in the cryptocurrency space. Not only has Bitcoin dumped to new lows after its all-time high of around $20,000, but a very major site, Bitconnect, has also shut down. Anyways, I am going to be talking about my opinion on the current cryptocurrency market and Bitcoin and all of the coins that have dumped before I get into Bitconnect, because I know some of you guys may have already heard about that. Anyways, if you guys can see here, this is the price of Bitcoin. We did see it dump from around $13,000 all the way down to $11,200 or $300 very, very quickly. Now, this dump, as you can see here, was extremely high volume, and some of the main factors that contributed to it was not only Korea speculation that it was going to ban some exchanges, but also the recent bearish trend of Bitcoin. If you guys did not see before this, it did retest this major support here that was at around $11,500 many times, and it was only a matter of time before it would eventually break this support, which it did. Now, something that I've found very interesting recently, as you guys can see here, we have seen this recent recovery from around $9,300 to $11,600. Now, this is a very big recovery of over 20% on Bitcoin, which has caused a lot of altcoins to recover and a lot of coins to pump, although they still are lower than whenever the market was at its all-time high and, you know, the insane green days we had seen in the past few weeks. Now, something that I have noticed, and this is a very bad sign in my opinion, is that Bitfinex and USD Tether have printed more USD Tether. Now, if you guys have not heard about the whole speculation and conspiracies behind that on how Bitfinex and USD Tether is printing more currency, there has been $200 million worth of USD Tether go into circulation the past 2 days, which is quite insane. This is $200 million. As you guys can see here, when Bitcoin did dump, this was obviously because of news and the things I just mentioned, and since it was such a large move and people were sort of expecting this, it did have considerably high volume. Now, if you guys don't know what volume is, that is how much was traded within those candles, so how many people were going on and selling and moving their money. And volume is a very good indicator because it can show you how sure the market is for its moves. You can see high volume spikes whenever coins dump or whenever coins go up very fast. But something I have noticed very recently here is that we did hit a low of 9,300 and we have recovered quite a bit, and like I just said, that is over a 20% move. And just for comparison, this move right here was around 15%, 15 or 16%. Now, I just want to show you guys, compare the volume here on this move to the volume here on the move of 20%. Alright, so if you guys can see, the recent volume on this recovery has been extremely low compared to some of the moves that it has done in the past. Whenever Bitcoin recovers or goes up or drops, this volume is extremely low. Now, there are a few contributing factors that I believe to maybe be influencing this, and one thing that you cannot say, that you cannot deny, is that Bitfinex does have some people on it manipulating the price of Bitcoin. Now, sure, maybe it's not USD Tether, that is always a possibility. USD Tether being fake is not a known fact, that is just speculation, purely speculation. But one thing that is a fact, like I just said, is that people are manipulating it on Bitfinex. Now, a way that you can see that something is being manipulated is by seeing very big buy walls or supports pop up on the price of a certain coin. Now, what this is doing is it is creating a false support for these coins and trying to push it up by pushing up the support. So if your support is, for example, 200 Bitcoin buy order and you keep moving it up to keep the price going up, then it will make people believe in the coin more, thinking that, oh, okay, there are all these people that want to buy 200 Bitcoin, so that must mean that it's going to keep going up. And then what in turn happens is the market starts to go up. And that is something we saw right here. We saw USD Tether get printed. Then we saw this manipulation, which made Bitcoin go up a lot with these big supports popping up on Bitcoin on Bitfinex. And we may see one here. I'm not sure if I've caught one yet, but I did have a few earlier today that I did see where, for example, around here, to make sure that it didn't go below this big resistance, they did have a huge buy wall. I think it was around 180 Bitcoin. And, you know, eventually I think they took it down, and that's where it fell down. And another thing where you can see manipulation is obviously volume. The volume has been extremely low compared to its previous big moves. And this is something that's very interesting, in my opinion, shows how weak Bitcoin is right now, is Bitcoin has not pushed through any of these big resistances. In the past, if we had seen Bitcoin break 11,500, which was previously a very large resistance for Bitcoin. It was a huge support before, which then usually makes it a big resistance. And assuming it did just break it, in a normal market, we would have seen that pump. If this market was normal and we are getting normal volume without this manipulation, I would have expected Bitcoin, after breaking this very big resistance, to maybe move up to around 12,000 and test that price. That is how big of a resistance this really was. And I think the fact that it fell out of this resistance after breaking it, and we're seeing this low volume and big buy orders going up, I think this shows how weak it really is. So I just wanted to address that, as you guys should be very careful these upcoming markets. And something else that's definitely fueling this is the insane dump that you see on the long-term chart here. You know, a lot of people are calling Bitcoin a bubble. I did show those bubble charts in my previous videos where, you know, this is the top and then it's back to normal, blah, blah, blah. You guys have probably seen that before. But that is also fueling this price drop, as people do think that this is the bubble ending. But something else is that every year, actually around the new year, this is something that not many people have mentioned, but last year in January, so January 2016, we see a dip in Bitcoin just like we are seeing right now. So back in January of 2017, so this is right in the new year, we did see Bitcoin drop from around $1,200 to $800. So that was a huge move, a huge dump for Bitcoin. And as you guys can see, right after that, it just consolidated and went all the way back up to then seeing this, which is what we saw this year, and insane growth. So I did want to point that out, as this does seem to be a reoccurring trend that happens every year. At the beginning of the year, there is a big sell-off in Bitcoin. Now, hopefully you guys can take that into consideration when trading. I just wanted to, you know, tell you guys my opinions on the market, what is going on, and I do think Bitcoin is definitely in a very important state right now as to where it will be going in the next few months. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, of course, is Bitconnect. You guys may have seen Bitconnect has shut down. Now, I did make videos on Bitconnect in the past saying how risky it was, my opinions of its trade bot not being legit, and all sorts of stuff like that. And I do get a lot of hate on those videos, which is understandable, since whenever people have investments in something and really believe in it, they do tend to stand behind that and maybe dislike the video or leave comments saying like, I've been getting paid out for from Bitconnect for 2 years now, and it's definitely legit. In my opinion, I do not count that as being legit. I only say something's legit if I know for a fact and I know how they're making money, then I will call it legit. But until then, I always said it's very likely a scam with those types of returns. And we did see Bitconnect finally go down. Bitconnect did officially say that they are ending their lending platform due to lack of support, which is very interesting, since if they are using a trade bot, then there's no reason that lack of support in the community should even close to touch their profits with a trade bot. And then they also said, you know, due to the closures from certain states like Texas, I think, and there was one other that also closed Bitconnect and did not allow people from their state to invest in it. And so they finally shut down, and we did see a price move around 86%. And this is something else that I honestly find an absolute joke. Okay, they want to act like they are perfectly fine and they did not scam out, and they said, okay, well, we gave you guys back your Bitconnect token, which is what you lend out to us. So we paid you guys back. We don't owe you anything. We didn't scam you. We gave you everything you wanted. I find this to be a complete joke, because whenever you are lending to Bitconnect, you are assuming you are going to make money, right? You are agreeing that you are going to be locking up your money and receiving this interest from their trade bot. That is what you are expecting to happen. Now, whenever Bitconnect all of a sudden ends for their reasons, which show that they don't use a trade bot, which is already completely lying to many of its users, then they give back their Bitconnect token. Whenever you're buying Bitconnect using Bitcoin and real money, and then you receive back your Bitconnect token, and everyone received it at the same time, so it made it instantly valueless. Now, this is something that's very obvious. If a coin, for some reason, stops its use case and gives everyone the ability to sell the coin, it is going to completely dump, and they knew this themselves too. So what ended up happening here is Bitconnect came away with a ton of money. They have probably made billions or hundreds of millions of dollars at this point from their Bitconnect lending platform. They gave back all of their users their coin, which they knew would be useless after a matter of, you know, seconds almost, as it did seemingly dump almost instantly after they announced this. So overall, I think Bitconnect was a complete joke. I really hope you guys took my advice in not investing in this platform, and hopefully this will be a very good lesson for people in the future to not invest in these lending platforms or unsustainable scams that don't really do what they advertise. Now, another component to these websites that I really want to talk about are other YouTubers who promote Bitconnect and who are now, you know, taking the hit as if saying that they did not really help Bitconnect and they told you guys the risk of doing it. I find this to be another completely horrible thing, and this shows the horrible people in our community. Now, I do want to point out two people, although there are many other very big YouTubers who have also done this, such as Trevon James, Crypto Nick, Craig Grant. I know there are tons of very big cryptocurrency YouTubers who endlessly promoted Bitconnect. And the reason why I think they should not even be able to say that they were not responsible for this is because once you put your name on something, once you make over 20 videos within the matter of 2 months here about Bitconnect and how it has been making you money and trying to get referrals, and even though you may throw a few things in there like, oh, I'm not sure about it, if you are actively promoting these sites, you are 100% liable, and you can 100% take the blame for when these sites shut down. You are exposing your viewers to these types of platforms, and you can't just not take the blame for what happens to them. You know, you are telling them that they should invest in this thing, and, you know, even if one of my investments, if I made a video on a coin that crashed, you know, that would certainly be very bad for me. And, you know, I think any support that is given to these people or the people that are continue to be subscribed to them, I think that's honestly just a little bit sad, because these people are just spamming referrals to platforms that really have nothing behind them. And hopefully in the future we can see this change as cryptocurrency grows and becomes more of a legitimate investment. Anyways, guys, I know this was a very heavy video. Hopefully in the future we will be seeing a green market in cryptocurrency with Bitcoin recovering, and hopefully you guys can also recover your Bitconnect losses if you were a part of that. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and see you guys in the next video.